Hi kids! Though you have already seen my extended welcome video for my general purposes, this is the AP Comp specific one. Welcome aboard. If you are watching this, you should hopefully be enrolled in AP Composition with Donahue. Two of us teach it, me and Dr. Sowens. The good doctor was my teacher way back in the day, and I still maintain a healthy level of fear and respect for her. So whether you are in my class or hers, you should be getting very similar material. She and I already met to discuss the kinds of things that we're starting the year with. And it looks like we're going to be headed into something fairly similar to what the end of last year looked like with AP. I mean that it seems right now that we are preparing for digital testing on the AP exam. There's also a digital classroom on AP, which had nothing to do with the pandemic. AP was going that direction anyway, and it sort of happily coincided with the fact that the pandemic hit. What we're going to be going over today, tomorrow, and a little bit of early next week are the different things you have to do to kind of get ready for the year. One, you didn't have required summer work, but we handed summer work out because it really is helpful for you to have time to kind of read that and do that work before school starts. But we could not require it, kind of not knowing what people's different situations were. Please be prepared to bring that stuff with you. We're going to be reading in cold blood during September. We should be done with it by the end of the month. So if you already read it, you get to reread it, refresh your mind. If you didn't read it, you got to start. So hopefully you have a copy. We have a couple copies if you need it, but really you should have brought your own because you'll be able to take notes in it and everything. In addition, we are going to register for AP online, and then we are going to talk registration for Seton Hall. What an AP class is, and many of you may know this because you probably are in more than one AP, but if you're not, AP is something registered by the College Board. It allows you to take an AP test associated with the class. Just because you're in the class does not require you to take the test. However, I really recommend it. Why wouldn't you? It is your money. You have to pay for it and register. But if you're getting all the same preparation, why would you not take the test? You have the option of getting points. So you get a score back, 3, 4, 5 is passing, and your colleges can determine how much AP credit they're willing to accept, and AP credit usually gets you college credits. So in my case, my AP English test got me out of doing a Writing 101 course at TCNJ. And then I had a bunch of other credits, and I eventually kind of accumulated enough random credit that I was able to get. I was a sophomore by January of my freshman year, which was really helpful. It really made time and space in my schedule. I got to take fun classes sooner, and I got to double minor. So I had 2 minors. I had time to take them. All thanks to APs and also Brookdale Community College. There was a whole lot of credit transfer going on, and it was really, really useful. Your parents will find it useful in saving them money on college tuition. You will find it useful in getting to take fun classes faster. You also, in this class in particular, not that anyone taking AP Comp nationwide can get the AP credit on the exam, you guys can also get Seton Hall credit. You can pay Seton Hall University money and get 3 Seton Hall credits for taking this class. Again, why would you not? It is the absolute cheapest you're ever going to get Seton Hall or any college credit for. And Seton Hall's a 4-year university. It's in some ways like the kind of hierarchy of colleges would be like a 2-year community college is slightly under a 4-year in terms of like weightiness of those credits. Like if you take all your Brookdale credits and try to transfer them to Rowan may say yes to some, but not to all. If you try to transfer Seton Hall credit to Rowan, they are less likely to throw some of it away. Not that they won't, they can, but like it's $300 for 3 Seton Hall credits. That might seem like a lot of money to high school students. It is over, I think, $1,000 a credit for me to take college courses because college courses are sort of predicated on how much credit you've already earned. So like I have a master's degree now, and it's just expensive for me to sign up for anything. It's why I'm not a doctor. It's why there's only 1 doctor teaching AP Comp, not 2, because who has that kind of money lying around? In terms of what you need to sign up, there are class codes. I'm going to get you those codes, and for the sake of clarity, I'm just going to put them on Classroom so you can copy and paste them. When dealing with Seton Hall, please understand a couple things. One, with Seton Hall, you are the one in charge of sending out that information. So you and your parents log on, you and your parents sign up, you and your parents send the check. Please use an email address you actually check to stay in touch with them. Last year, I didn't get Seton Hall rosters until April, which was fun because I was on maternity leave in January. And then in April, they sent me the rosters and I said, wait, there's some mistakes here. And then we were sort of fussing with them through June and then even in July. We resolved all of our issues. But what I'm saying is I don't get to sort of double check your Seton Hall work before it gets kind of put in the system. So like some kids entered their codes wrong for Great Books last year, and they entered the AP Comp code instead, and we didn't find out until months later. For our purposes, there's no Great Books this year, so you should only have the one code to worry about. It should all be fine, but do try to do it in advance enough that you can ask questions and not just kind of scramble it in at the last moment and then we later figure out that something was wrong. I would recommend doing both of those things. They do cost money, which may be a concern, but they're really useful and they potentially pay back in dividends. Another thing for AP Comp this year, we are giving you all your books in advance. The only book we're having a little difficulty with right now is collecting the Everything's an Argument textbooks from last year's kids, so that we can get them to you for you to take home. Everything's an Argument as a textbook it's something we use all the time. We want to have consistent copies for you to take home. So we're working on that. If you had friends that took the course last year, please remind them to bring their books back in. We just never got to collect books because of school being closed. So right now we're playing a little bit of catch up with that. In as much as I can, I'm trying to get you guys other essays digitally and things like that. Like you don't necessarily need a Norton reader because I can get you those copies and scan them. But the textbook we do need copies of. So that's the only thing we're kind of waiting on. You're going to have potentially 2 books to read this year. We did cut one from what we were doing in favor of doing more essays and short writing. You're getting A Night to Remember for research paper. You do have a required research paper. And you're getting Good Night and Good Luck, which is a shooting script. Shooting script meaning it is a film. So for visual arguments, we usually go over Good Night and Good Luck. We are not yet using them, and we're obviously doing In Cold Blood first. But one of these kind of interesting causes from the pandemic is you're treated a little bit more like a college kid in many ways. So I think this is actually kind of useful. In college, you're given a book list, and before the semester starts, and you're told to buy the books. If you're smart, you buy them used. The other thing is that you have all the books, and sometimes you have access to the syllabus. Sometimes you don't. But what you do is you kind of look at them and you go, when do I have time to do this? So like even what I would do is I would occasionally have 7 or 8 books put in front of me, and I would go, all right, if I can figure out which one the professor's teaching first, I can try to read that first. But realistically, are there any that I should start reading now? Because are there any that are long? Do I have work? Do I have other things coming up? Do I have other classes? Like I know that at the end of sort of the last 4 weeks of any art class you took were always project ridden. So if I had an English class and I knew that there was going to be a book due in the last 4 weeks, try to read that early, because then you don't have to worry about fitting reading time in when you're doing a project for another class. You guys will be told when these books are due, but having them early does give you the option of potentially looking at them ahead of time. You won't know what the lessons are for them, but it at least takes the actual act of reading off your plate. And if you are watching this and you have the weekend and you know In Cold Blood is coming up, if you haven't read it, just start reading it. In Cold Blood's readily available at Barnes & Noble. There are digital copies online. You can find them. And if you haven't started doing it, we're going to be starting there. And anytime you can kind of proactively take something off your plate, you should get in the habit of doing it. College would normally teach you this, but the pandemic's kind of making you guys develop those same skills. So I'm actually kind of excited about that. Other things that you should be aware of is that we are typing a lot. So you were meant to have laptops. If you do not have laptops, please let me know. We're doing a lot of reading and writing work. The whole point of AP Comp is to make you a better writer. This is a course that will force you to develop and understand writing skills. It's exciting, and sometimes it's intensive. There's a lot of very close reading. There's a lot of taking your time with reading and writing. So be prepared for all of that typing. I'm actually quite excited that you guys can type. The last time I taught AP Comp, we were still handwriting everything because the test was still handwritten, and we wanted you in the right habit of handwriting. So I'm actually quite excited that you get to type, because it's going to make everything, I think, a little smoother, a little faster. You guys, as a rule, tended to do better on any essay that you could type versus handwrite, because it was just a different way your brains thought. My brain always, like, I learned how to write long before I learned how to type. You guys are probably learning to type, if not at the same time that you're learning to write, maybe even before. So I think it helps you to be able to type as students. Please, in some way, arrange to collect your books. If you are virtual, you are also welcome to purchase them. I have provided links for you. It is my opinion that if you're going to be using a book for something in an AP level class, you should have your own copy so that you can take notes in it, particularly for In Cold Blood, because there's a lot of writing coming out of In Cold Blood. For Good Night and Good Luck, I wouldn't say necessarily a lot of annotations going into that, but for A Night to Remember, a lot, because it's the research paper book. I would highly recommend having your own hard copy of it. They're not that expensive, but we do have copies for you to borrow should you need or desire to borrow. Other than that, I hope you guys do the welcome to class Google form. I hope you do the rest of the assignment and get your points, and we are going to start fresh next week. Hope to see you all in the meet.